All right, hello. So this is Dylan Otero, and this is from my CJ 365003 course. And today I'm going to be talking about how investigative journalism in history's past has exposed past injustices and led to modern media ethics, and why this matters today with the internet, especially within today's society. All right, first let's cover what would happen if their media were to stop telling the truth. So, in the progressive era, harsh and unfair working conditions were in place, and the media offered no coverage of this. Harsh conditions included unsafe factories, zero regulations, and child labor, which represented 20 to 40% of the workforce in America in the early 1900s, which is mentioned on Kramer, page 170. With this in mind, the audience being society did not know how bad that things really were, and that the media had this power and responsibility to cover the truth. So, with this in mind, this just for sure shows how important the media really is and how important it is that they cover all the truth within society, as it could hide potential false or negative things that could be happening, such as this that was going on for so long, where children were being forced to work in these harsh situations where they were being killed, where they were working terrible hours, and just in general, children having to work in these terrible conditions at laws that were not in place at the time is just terrible. And the fact the media had the power to call this out but didn't is just very terrible in my opinion. So with this, the rise of muckracking. So what is muckracking? Muckracking is journalism. Journalism has 4 points that covers to make change within society, which are: first, it exposes a hidden situation; second, it locates an agent of control; third, it indicates a preferred action; and fourth, it incites audience response. So with this, muckracking is just another form of going and calling. They went and called out things during the progressive era in which they were felt that were wrong. They called out things such as the children being mistreated in factories. Uh, Other examples of this, as I wrote in my slides here, is going to be this is going to be of Jacob Riss and Helen Campbell. They were the two that specifically called out muckracking. Jacob Riss called it out with his photographs that came out, early examples of muckracking of children working within factories that were surprising to society. And Helen Campbell filled in after this, and she ended up writing multiple books giving a look into this side of society. Um, and also, another example is going to be of a man of Sinclair, a man who came out and he became famous in 1906 after The Jungle exposed a book that he wrote called The Jungle exposed the conditions in the U.S. meatpacking industry, and this called out different things as they were having gross situations, and it was not meant for human consumption, the things that they were doing, and it was also mistreatment of their employees. And though he wasn't successful as he wanted, it was a force in the movement calling out unsanitary actions in place and the mistreatment of his employees. And, all right, and with these impacts of this event, it caused for a public outrage, which caused for reform and change as a result of these people within journalism standing up for what they believe in and what they saw was wrong, which should be a thing that journalism should stand behind. So, why ethics are good in media and important in media, and why calling out faults in society is good. So, first, we need to talk about what is deontological and teleological ethics. I apologize, I've been struggling to say those as I've been writing this presentation. So what these are is deontological ethics is about focusing on the duty of telling the truth at all costs with going on with the honesty is the best policy mindset. And teleological ethics focuses on the end results when decision making. And these are both from Kramer. So with this, it is important. These are different mindsets when going about writing journalism, but with this in mind, um, those such as Riss and Campbell and Sinclair are key factors of keeping ethics at a high standard, as they both told the truth within their media while also leading to positive change in the outcome. They kind of fed into both of these as they both called out something that they felt was wrong, and they also, while telling the truth and being true to the truth at all times, while also focusing on making change within society. So how journalism has changed. So as mentioned within the textbook, through muckracking, it was short-lived. It is a set. Though muckraking was short-lived, it was a set standard for journalists to lead with the best interests of the public in mind, which led to different changes in professional journalism, such as codes of ethics, schools of journalism, and other professional standards. With this in mind, muckraking further helped promote the truth while holding others accountable for the purpose of social responsibility of journalism, of journalists. So yeah, with this, them calling out and making these changes, and they realized how much the public relies on this information and how much it affects the public, it caused for these things such as the different schools of journalism and different standards to come in place. And this is good, as these are the people responsible for the information that society is taking in. So our future and why the truth of the media is important. So in today's society, we have the internet, and social media allows us to gain information instantly worldwide. With this in mind, it can spread quickly, and with so much information out, there is misinformation is there's much information if it is very common if it is not unchecked. So staying true to your ethics and promoting what is right and doing what is best for society, such as deontological and teleological ethics, is the best way to go. As it is a route where you're able to focus on what is good for society and what is right for society, as well as meeting different goals that are necessary to make sure that these changes are made within society. So with this, we will be able to avoid misinformation, especially in today in an era where it's very easy to get fooled by common bias. As we know, there's many different platforms such as Instagram, Twitter, or X as talked about now, or many platforms such as that, and so much information is spread on here. And it's important to make sure this information is true and unbiased whenever we're taking it in and trying to understand it. So with this, Muckrakers pointed out the faults in society's past, and it is up to us to uh, and it is important for us to listen, to live up to this standard and change society for the better. Thank you for listening, and I hope all is well.